quiet, sentiment, and Neverland. Dharma friends, sitting still in vital silence, wanting nothing, we practice eco-Buddhism together. The sound of the temple bell booms for all to cease from conflict. May the way of Buddha usher in the dawn of nonviolent global village forever. Here is the after sound of the bell. Thunder of silence, light after Dharma rain. Amoga. Varochana Mahamudra. Mani Padme Jvala Pravartaya.
Please stand for the chanting of the refuges. First in Sino-Korean, which is in keeping with our tradition, and then we'll recite in English so that you'll understand the Sino-Korean. And if for some reason you're not hearing, could you please just put your hand up and that'll help me to speak up. I go for refuge to the Buddha.
I go for refuge to the Buddha.
And resolve with all beings.
And resolve with all beings.
I will cultivate a heart of enlightenment.
I will cultivate a heart of enlightenment.
And realize the great way.
And realize the great way.
I go for refuge to the Dharma.
I go for refuge to the Dharma.
And resolve with all beings.
And resolve with all beings.
I will penetrate the teachings.
I will penetrate the teachings.
And uncover oceans of wisdom.
And uncover oceans of wisdom.
I go for refuge to the Sangha.
I go for refuge to the Sangha.
And resolve with all beings.
And resolve with all beings.
I will seek peace and happiness for the many.
I will seek peace and happiness for the many.
And
transform
this world into Buddha lands unimpeded.
And transform this world into Buddha lands unimpeded.
Please be seated. Maybe it's better for everybody now. During our recitation of the English version of the Three Refuges, I was struck by the word resolve with all beings, but resolve. And I see it as we've discussed in some of our morning Dharma discussions at breakfast. Resolve with all beings. And indeed, we're in the midst of that on our dear planet Earth right now. So I welcome you warmly, because the practices and the teachings of Buddhism, I think, can be part of the resolving. So, auspicious, auspicious, auspicious. It's just a darn hot morning, yet we made the effort to be here. Auspicious, auspicious, auspicious. We're dedicating our service and our practice to the African American folks who originally lived on this land. It was over time, we will share some of the funkiness of those folks. And we also acknowledge before them Native people who lived here. And now we have our turn. What will we do with it? What will we do with it? The one thing is that we have some people in our Sangha who have been formally in our training programs, so that they can deeply learn the practices and the teachings and be able to share them. So today, 3 of them are here to receive their special certificates of the Dharma Guardian program. And each of them is going to give a little talk. And then we'll see how time goes, because we have another special service after this one. Some of you, I know, are participating in the Yumna. But we may have a chance to ask these folks some questions. I have a question already in my mind. Yeah. Sometimes that's the vitality, when people have to spontaneously respond. See what they say, see what they do. Yeah. So I'd like to first invite all the Dharma Guardian trainees to come up in front of, or maybe by the side of me. Yeah, it will be better for the camera. So Gagsang and Magamuk and Pasadi. Over here, Pasadi. A little closer, you've got your mask on. Can everybody at home see all these folks? Yeah. Good. Okay, so they have been studying during the course. The program is 3, 4, maybe 5 semesters, depending how they're doing. And all during that time, there are what we've called the 6 right livelihood guidelines that they've been working with. So I would like to have them repeat those 6 right livelihood guidelines after me together. And then we'll introduce to you each one separately. Okay. Please repeat after me, especially you folks and everybody included. 6 right livelihood guidelines.
6 right livelihood guidelines.
Good. Consume mindfully.
Consume mindfully.
Eat with awareness and gratitude.
Eat with awareness and gratitude.
Pause before buying and see if breathing is enough.
Pause before buying and see if breathing is enough.
Pay attention to the effect of media you consume.
Pay attention to the effect of media you consume.
Pretty right on, eh?
Yay.
Yay. Yeah. The second, pause, breathe, listen.
Pause, breathe, listen.
When you feel compelled to speak,
When you feel compelled to speak,
in a meeting or conversation,
in a meeting or conversation,
pause.
pause.
Breathe before entering your home, place of work, or school.
Breathe before entering your home, place of work, or school.
Listen to the people you encounter.
Listen to the people you encounter.
They are Buddhas.
They are Buddhas.
We should make a bow after each of these. Before we go to the third, our Dharma brothers and sisters at our Chicago temple devised these about 15 or 20 years ago. People just like yourselves who sat down and said, what's important these days? The third, practice gratitude.
Practice gratitude.
Notice what you have.
Notice what you have.
Be equally grateful for opportunities and challenges.
Be equally grateful for opportunities and challenges.
Share joy, not negativity.
Share joy, not negativity.
The fourth, cultivate compassion and loving kindness.
Cultivate compassion and loving kindness.
Notice where help is needed.
Notice where help is needed.
And be quick to help.
And be quick to help.
Did you see how fast a couple of them got up when it was raining and helped to move the computer in? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Consider other people's perspectives deeply.
Consider other people's perspectives deeply.
Work for peace at many levels.
Work for peace at many levels.
The fifth one, discover wisdom.
Discover wisdom.
Cultivate don't know mind.
Cultivate don't know mind.
Find connections between Buddhist teachings and your life.
Find connections between Buddhist teachings and your life.
Be open to what arises in every moment.
Be open to what arises in every moment.
The sixth, accept constant change.
Accept constant change.
That's it. That one is a real one for us these days, eh? All right, so let's. Okay, so Gaksan and Magamak, you may be seated and we'll have the ceremony with Pasadi first. Yep, so please be seated. Okay, Pasadi, let's get so that the camera. Dharma Guardian Certificate. Pasadi and Marshall has successfully completed the Dharma Guardian program of the Zen Buddhist Temple, Ann Arbor, Michigan, in the spirit of the 6 Right Livelihood Guidelines, which we have just all recited aloud. Dharma Guardians bring peace and happiness to those in need and embody the Buddhist tradition of wisdom, compassion, and awakening. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. Dharma Guardians are eligible to assist with temple administration and programs, represent the local temple to the wider community, or pursue Buddhist chaplaincy or hospice work. Pasadi is the 3rd person to receive this Dharma Guardian this year. And I humbly thank you for your efforts training with us over these semesters, Pasadi. it is something that I often say to training students, that it's really something to celebrate when somebody takes up training of themselves and cultivation. It's really on behalf of all of us people do that. And we had some special pins made of lotuses, which all the Dharmans, Dharma Guardians will get. In the spirit that lotuses grow well in mud, and they also grow and survive amidst fire. So the world is on fire. Oh. You know, I look at her, she's got dirt under her fingers. It's really good because she's been working in the garden. She's been here all weekend. Okay, let's. Now she's going to give a little talk, so you can see a little more what this person is all about. Help. Do you want to stand up or sit down? I don't know. Okay. So, here we go. On and up. You can sit down. Easier to hear you.
All right. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Prasadi.
So, Pashu this morning was asking me at breakfast, what made you come to the temple? Why did you come? I really want to know. And so my answer is very simple. I was so stressed out. Not just everyday ordinary stress, which I bet all of us can relate to a little bit. And so I'm thinking about what I wanted to share with you today. It came to me that, I wish I could tell you that the stress was gone, right? I wish I could tell you that because of the Dharma Guardian program, all the hard stuff isn't hard anymore, but it's still hard. It's still hard. And actually the image, it actually is a gardening image that came to me as well, was this feeling of being stuck in the brambles. That's how I often feel. Like, it's the pokey stuff and scratchy, and it has sharp edges, and you move a little bit in one way and the other, and you're still, no matter what you do, you're still like stuck in the brambles. And so, part of me wishes that, after Dharma Guardian program, no more brambles. But not the case. I am still very much stuck in the brambles. So that's my first thought.
Well, is there any hope?
Now, don't take away my show here. So, number two is, why do Dharma Guardian training? And the answer is because you can. And really that's a bigger deal than it sounds, because, we only get one chance at this life. And so, the chance could pass you by. So do Dharma Guardian training because you've got the chance and you should do it. Number three. So why else do Dharma Guardian training? And the answer is because, for me at least, meditation can be lonely, right? Sometimes it feels lonely. And so what's amazing about Dharma Guardian training is I get to do it with these wonderful people. And so, yeah, and really, oh my gosh, we, connect once every 3 weeks. We reflect together. We memorize together. We make fools of ourselves together, and our teachers are with us. And Maum, my Dharma Guardian teacher, I often feel like she's like, like the genie in the bottle, like she's up in the corner there. And when I do something not disciplined, not attentive, she's shaking her head like, no, no. And so I now have Maum, like my genie. And other times, she's in the corner like thumbs up, like you did it. So to be able to carry Maum with me is really great. And so number four is so memorization is really hard for me. So I have 5 things. So number 4, we already talked about, which is, the world is on fire. And, today is such a day, right? For that. And that's what's really amazing about Dharma Guardian training, is that the point is to practice in the fire. So it's not, to go out in a cave, which, that's good too, but to really practice in the fire of the world in our day-to-day life, and it's hot in all kinds of ways. So that's number 4. And number 5 is, yes, I'm going to come back to the brambles, because, even though I still feel often like pulled in each direction and stuck, the brambles are where it's at. And so then, remembering kind of like, the sweetness of this cool wind, right, on a hot day. I mean, how sweet is the wind? And much more when it's hot, right? So in the brambles, we see the roses and the wildness, and we're off path in a sense, but that's right where we should be. So thank you.
This is a little packet for your lotus pin. If you need to, shine it up sometimes and put it away. But otherwise, please wear it often. People will ask you, "What's that lotus pin?" Well, it's about the fire. It's about the mud. Thank you. Okay, next person. Let's see. Gaksong Richard Harris. So how about you hold the microphone while I do this? Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
Me too.
Good.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here. Dharma Guardian Certificate for Gaksong Richard Harris. What does Gaksong mean?
Gaksong means Song of Enlightenment.
Oh, does it feel like you?
I'm growing into it.
Gaksong Richard Harris has successfully completed the Dharma Guardian program of the Zen Buddhist Temple in Ann Arbor, Michigan, in the spirit of the 6 Right Livelihood Guidelines. Dharma Guardians bring peace and happiness to those in need and embody the wisdom tradition of wisdom, compassion, and awakening. Dharma Guardians are eligible to assist with temple administration and programs, and Gaksong has especially helped us with our visa. Represent the local temple to the wider community, or pursue Buddhist chaplaincy or hospice work. So Gaksang is the fourth Dharma Guardian to receive certification this year, 2021, August 29th. It is with deep gratitude that I offer my appreciation for your impulse to train all the time.
Thank you.
So Gaksang will now give a little talk.
So I put this on.
Yeah, you did it. Well, let's give him a little.
Thank you, Haji.
Stand up or you-
I'll just stand.
Okay.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, Gaksang.
Twinkles to all of you, and especially new folks that have not been here before. So it's my great pleasure to be able to receive this certificate. It's about 3 years in the making. I had sort of started the Dharma Guardian training and sort of slowly made my way through it. For those of you who don't know what it involves coming to the temple once a month to work with other students and other Dharma Guardian trainees to learn about Buddhism. We learn about the historical Buddha as well as the more religious aspects of Buddhism. We end up giving talks and presentations, and every meeting we discuss topics of the Dharma and the Buddhist teaching.
And home practice.
And definitely home practice as well. We learn that the lessons of the teachings extend beyond sitting on the cushion and beyond the temple where we practice. They extend throughout all of our lives. And it's very much has been the case for me as well. I'll give you a little bit of personal experience. So I first got interested in the temple through Peace Camp, and then went to a couple Peace Camps with my family and slowly got really involved in the temple. And then I decided to take the Precepts and get my Dharma, my name, my Buddhist name. And after each step of the way, I became more and more committed and more involved in the temple and with the people here, because it changed my life and it was changing it in such a good way. And I have to say the Dharma Guardian practice was also very much an extension of that. And it just keeps getting better and better and better. And especially in these times we need refuge. We need a place to be safe. But we also need action. We need to be involved in what's happening. It's not like we're taking a medicine and then just forgetting about things and going along our own way. We become more and more involved with what's going on. I'd like to say a personal thank you to Haju. She was my Dharma teacher during Dharma Guardians, and I very much enjoyed the guidance and mentorship that she provided for me, and I hope that she continues to do so in the future. Thank you very much, and thank you for listening.
What did I say about this lotus print pasadi?
I forget.
Fire.
Oh, it's fire?
No, it's like lotus in the fire.
Like lotus in the fire.
Lotus blooms.
Even in the fire.
Yes, and also lotus in the mud.
Definitely.
Can you relate to those?
Definitely. I do feel the mud from time to time.
Here's the
Okay.
little pouch. Jagwa actually made these little pouches for the Dharma Guardian pins, and one of our local artists made the pins. They're really kind of, you won't find any. We made, I think, was it 11 that we had made?
I don't know.
Yeah. So they're very special.
Very special.
Yeah. Okay. One more time. So another story that I think of is there's a shop behind here that has had many incarnations and has a big door that opens and shuts. And once a plant grew up right in right in front of that
Go,
door.
step back, step back.
It's when you cross the speakers.
A plant grew up in front of the door. And I noticed that every time the door came across and opened, the plant would go down. And then when the door went back, it would come up again. And I thought, that's a great example. I'm just going to let that plant grow and see what happens. And it kept doing it. One day, my teacher, Venerable Samasunam, who founded this organization, came for a visit, as he often did. And he said to me, Haju, how come you don't get rid of that weed in front of the door? And I said, because it's so inspiring. Every time it gets knocked down, it comes up again. So that's the kind of spirit, that 8 times down, 9 times up spirit, that we are learning through our training programs and through our being members and coming to practice here. So the next person is Magamak Mike Umbriak. Please come up. Of the 3 of these folks, I think Magamak has been coming for a little longer. Yeah. So he's the senior of these 3. So he gets to be last because sometimes seniors just take the last place. This is what we do. And love it. Yes. Okay. So Dharma Guardians certificate for Magamak Michael Umbriak. What's Magamak mean?
Magamuk means mountain ash tree.
How do you take that?
Because I'm a transplant from northeastern Pennsylvania. And there's other interpretations as well, but that was the first one.
Okay, wonderful. Well, welcome to Ann Arbor then. Magamak Michael Umbriak has successfully completed the Dharma Guardian program at the Zen Buddhist Temple in Ann Arbor, Michigan, in the spirit of the Right Livelihood Guidelines. Which is your favorite?
I'm actually going to talk about that in 2 or 3 minutes.
Okay.
So I'll keep the suspense up.
Okay, I can wait. Dharma Guardians bring peace and happiness to those in need and embody the Buddhist tradition of wisdom, compassion, and awakening. Dharma Guardians are eligible to assist with temple administration and programs, which you already do with your work with the Peace Camp. Again, Peace Camp has been a place where many folks have done a lot of volunteering. They're allowed to represent our local temple to the wider community, often acting as a Buddhist representative, or to pursue Buddhist chaplaincy or hospice work. So in the spirit of the 6 Right Livelihood Guidelines and the training you've done, I'm really happy to offer you this certificate of Dharma Guardianship. Could you please give a little talk to us about
Okay. Thank you, Haju. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, I feel that the Dharma Guardian program has been very beneficial in a number of ways. When I would come here before joining the program, I would come to a Sunday service and I would hear a Dharma talk from Haju or Mawum or Hayun, and I would write something down that I found that most of the time I was writing down a sentence or a phrase that I found particularly inspiring. And in this program where we met once a month, and we met in a meeting on Saturday mornings for 3 hours, I was talking not only with Haju and Hayun and Mawum, but also with all of the training students as well. And listening to 2 or 3 of those students give a presentation and discussing what we read over the past month. And I found at the end that I would have at least half a dozen things written down. It was like rapid fire wisdom. Another aspect that was personally helpful for me was writing in the journal. We had to keep a journal every day. So recording my practice, including meditation, daily meditation on such a regular basis, helped me to be calm and less reactive. And we also had to write down conditions for happiness and conditions for feeling troubled. And in doing that, I started noticing what actually makes me happy. And it was more direct than what I had thought before. And it was more inexpensive than what I had thought before. And in the cases where something was enticing me that was big or expensive, I started to ask myself, who am I trying to impress and why? And do I really want to do that? So I found that the things that really made me happy included connecting with friends and family, going biking with my son, going canoeing with my daughter. I found that when the pandemic started, I was connecting on Zoom a lot more with extended family, like my cousin in California. I think I talked to her more in the past year than I did in the past 10 years combined, and other members of my extended family and friends on Zoom. And I found that good food made me happy. Not expensive food, but just something like Oasis Baba Ganoush from the grocery store, which is so good. And like actually paying attention to the taste, consume mindfully. Experiences. I always valued experiences over things, but I realized it did not necessarily have to be big experiences like going on vacation somewhere. It was often little things like sitting in my backyard with a cup of coffee in the morning, or actually enjoying doing very mundane, tedious tasks like pulling weeds where you could immediately see the progress, And I also began to recognize the patterns in my habits and patterns in my thinking. The journal asked us to notice and record consumerism, and that can be in terms of buying or eating, or for me, it was paying attention to the effects of media that I consume, one of our Right Livelihood guidelines. And I realized that a lot of my preferences had been shaped by the television shows and movies that I'd watched when I was a kid. And some of those were helpful and some of them were less helpful. So when you're watching this stuff at 10 years old, it gives you an idea of how adults behave and what their goals are that is not necessarily realistic. And since high school, I have not watched a lot of TV and not listened to much of the radio either. But now there's the internet. So there's the potential for consumerism there too. It sneaks in. Like, for example, Google Discover knows the terms that I've searched for. And it says, oh, Mike, here are some articles that you might like. And some of those are helpful. And other ones are just helping me procrastinate on things that I should be doing and trying to get me to buy their stuff, Another aspect of the Dharma Guardian program, as Pasadi and Gogsang mentioned, is memorization. And I was excited about memorizing the Yable. I was excited about memorizing the Heart Sutra, but I did not think that I would be able to memorize the Great Compassion Dharani because it's so long and there doesn't appear to be any melody and it appears to be a bunch of nonsense syllables. And but we got a lot of encouragement from each other, and I got good advice from my teacher Hayun and wisdom from Gogsang. So Gogsang said, well, you remember song lyrics, don't you? And I said, yeah, I can memorize all these. I still remember all these Led Zeppelin lyrics that I haven't heard in 35 years. And he said, well, how did you do that? And I said, well, I guess it's because I listened to it so many times. So I downloaded an audio version of the Great Compassion Dharani and put it on my phone and split it up into verses and played them in loops over and over. And I was surprised that I was able to do it. And I thought, man, if I could do that, and that was impossible, then what else is possible? A couple of months ago, Haji said that the training programs are all about developing character. And I looked at the reason that I joined the Dharma Guardian program in the first place, and it was to cultivate equanimity so that I can relate better to the other people in my life. And I feel that the Dharma Guardian program has been very helpful and has allowed me to do that. So thank you.
There's another lotus.
Okay.
This is called together action. Oh, this is a thick. Are you really hot today? All right. Congratulations and see you soon.
Yeah.
One of the things that I ask as Dharma Guardians, and already Magamog said, is keep coming to the temple on a regular basis. The temple culture is really the whole teaching. When you come and you work and practice, you have meals with us. So if you could please try on a regular basis that you're going to be coming and throwing yourself in. Also Pasadi and also Goksan. Otherwise we get lonely and bereft of our Dharma, what would I call it? Garden. This is like a Dharma garden where a lot of good plants and weeds are growing for the benefit of all. Okay. Thank you. Okay, so we have time for just a few questions and to these folks, and I'd like them to just come up in the line again together.
Oh, let's go back. When you cross the speaker line.
Okay, so let's take, I'm interested if any of you have a question for these folks. Barbara?
What is the big difference between guardian, Dharma Guardian, and state?
I'll go ahead and answer that one really quickly. So taking precepts is a shorter duration of time, and you follow the specified precepts. You learn them over the course of a number of weeks, and you end up getting a Buddhist name at the end of it. The Dharma Guardian program is much longer. It's usually 2.5, maybe 2 years, where you come monthly, and as Magamak and we were saying, is that you meet monthly and you learn more about Buddhist teachings and give presentations, and you just get steeped more and more into it. So the precepts is shorter in duration. The Dharma Guardian is more of a deeper dive into Buddhism and what it means.
Also the precepts, we keep talking about getting a Buddhist name, but that is not actually the point. It is about formally becoming a Buddhist, and that's it, and then following the teaching. And the names are the icing on the cake. What does your name mean, Ramchul? Yeah, you.
My name means wisdom fragrance, the smell of wisdom. But now, young Joel.
Yeah, nice. That's in Yebo. You recognize Ramchul? Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. All right. Any other question? Yes, Anna.
When on the off time that you were not here, that once every third week, I think you said, or once a month, how did you feel your teachings and practice related to like the temple grounds? And it was like, like sometimes the day-to-day chaos.
Repeat the question first.
The question is, in the times that we were not here, how did we feel that our practice related to the day-to-day chaos? Yeah, I find that on the days when I do practice, I have more calmness during the day. I'm less reactive to triggers. You know, my wife notices that I can relate better. So it's really it's very helpful to have that regular practice and cultivate more equanimity in that way. Anything else you guys would like to add?
I think for me, I definitely struggle with the discipline. So it's little for me. It's little things like the little things that are big stumbling blocks. And so things like if I can go to bed earlier, I can get up earlier to do practice in the morning. And then if I do practice in the morning, how it transforms the day. And then, so it's those little things that end up making a big, actually, impact in the day.
I'd also add that over the last couple of years, it's been very stressful. There's been a lot of stressors in the environment, and I've noticed that my practice has deepened, and I can tell when I'm off kilter, when I'm not in my best frame of mind. And I go back to the practice and it centers me and grounds me. And like what the others are saying is that it gives me a refuge, a place of safety to cultivate equanimity and peace of mind.
Dr. Sim,
Yes, ma'am. Hello, my name is Pontius.
what does it mean?
It means great capacity.
Great capacity.
And
Could you just remove your mask so that we can read? Yep.
Yes.
Thank you.
I have a question for all three. You've undergone your arduous training that lasted more than a year, it sounds like. Can you each name one thing that you certainly would have missed out on had you not undergone your training? Thank you. It's a negative question.
Repeat question.
I've got one. Question is, can we name one thing that we would have missed out on if we had not undergone our training? So I would have missed out on the joy of tedious tasks. And I think of an example just from yesterday, because we were preparing for teaching this class in mechanical engineering. And I was there with two of my grad student instructors in the lab, and we were sorting fasteners, all these tiny little nuts and bolts that were all mixed together, different sizes. And we were sorting them for 120 kits of parts. And just, it would be like very painful and tedious to have to do this unless you're really paying attention to it. And I think the coffee helped a little bit too, honestly. But just like flipping them over, seeing what sizes matched. And then one of the grad students had thought to get a big funnel and tape the funnel to the table. And so when you find a bunch that match together, you can sweep them, because they're very hard to pick up with your thumb and finger. But you just sweep them off the table into the funnel, catch them with your other hand, and then put them into the basket. And just the joy of doing that. It sounds so silly, but like seeing the progress, those are the kind of things that when you're not trying to distract yourself, but you can pay attention, you can enjoy those kind of tasks. Anybody else want to add?
I would have to say that I would have missed out on the sounds of the insects that are singing around here. One thing I noticed about my practice was every evening I would step outside of my house before starting my practice and greet the day's end, the ending of the day. And many times I would hear insects. Usually in the spring, we would hear frogs chirping because we live near a lake. Hear the frogs singing. I've noticed to become more aware of nature.
I think for me, it got me to the temple, and it allowed me to be like a mini resident for even 24 hours. And so to kind of have that immersion in the experience, and to have that coupled with the practice of Sangha and the practice of Dharma, of really having those three things overlap and inspire.
I would have missed out on all those things too.
I'm sorry?
I would have missed out on each of those things too if I had no experience here. Thank you.
That's what I missed out on.
Hi. So there was talk about the fire in the world, and I was wondering how your Dharma training might relate to your work in the world, whether it be like engagement or interaction with the fire.
This will be the last question, so just so we know, because we have to prepare for the next circle.
Okay, so the question was, how did the practice engage us with interacting with the fire in the world and the fire that's out there? How specifically this training has helped in some way? I teach a meditation course at the university for graduate students, and we were having our course during the time of the last election. And a lot of the students were very stressed and anxious and worried about whatever the outcome might be. And we found that working with our minds was a skillful way of engaging with the changes, this uncertainty that's always around us, being able to accept constant change, at least try to address that, has been something that's been very fruitful with this.
Yeah, I would say the fire in the world during the past year has deeply affected some of my coworkers, and I find that I'm able to relate to them with much more compassion. When they're telling me about how it's affecting them, and also just being able to relate to my family members who are going through personal struggles, as all people do. Just having more compassion for them. So the two main tenets are wisdom and compassion, and I feel that I've been able to get some more practice in both of those.
Yeah, trying to, I think the fire can feel overwhelming. And so the structure that the program provides for me helps me be with kind of the fire within and the fire without, and not and having to do it with the Sangha.
Thanks, all three of you. I think by their answers you can see. Could we have,
Question back here, please.
yeah, all right, one more question. Please go ahead.
Sorry, this is quick. Hi, I just did my precepts on the 4th of July via Zoom.
And you've got the best name.
Yeah,
Please.
my name is Paju, which means breaking open the gates of hell. First time being here. So, my question to you
Very, very good question.
Very good question. I have a family, my wife and 2 sons that are in school now. So it took me longer probably to finish Dharma Guardians than others. So everyone here is very kind and generous, and there's no real timeline that if you don't meet at this point in time, you're done. They're very flexible and allow you to do at your own pace. And so that's what I found was allowed me to finish the program.
Yeah, I also have a family. My daughter's in college now, and my son is going to be senior in high school. And I think part of what made it possible was talking in advance with my wife and son and daughter, and letting them know that I would like to do this, and just sort of working it out with them. And not to say that there weren't struggles. There were definitely some conflicts sometimes, with a particular weekend, with conflicting schedules. But just, having the resolve to set the time aside daily, early in the morning and late in the evening, practicing early in the morning, writing in the journal late in the evening, and practicing in the evening if I didn't get a chance to do it in the morning. And, it helps to go to bed early and wake up earlier than I used to. So that was another thing that the program helped me to cultivate, those kind of habits.
Yeah, I echo what Gaksan and Magamuk say, and that, there's so much busyness and demands on all of our time, and so I think it's challenging at times to put aside the time, but yet the structure is mutually supportive and is also freeing.
Okay, very good question. That's one for all of us. I mean, whether we're in a training program, how do you do the meditation regularly? Let's do the Dharma Guardian prayer. It's one of the best prayers we have. And with these guys can be like the choir, and you guys can sing along, okay? All right, ready? Dharma Guardian prayer.
Dharma Guardian prayer.
A little more spunk.
Dharma Guardian prayer.
I salute and pay homage.
I salute and pay homage
to all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas.
to all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas
In the 10 directions and 3 worlds.
in the 10 directions and 3 worlds.
With my true and sincere heart.
With my true and sincere heart.
I aspire to follow in the footsteps.
I aspire to follow in the footsteps
of their wisdom, compassion, and enlightenment for all.
of their wisdom, compassion, and enlightenment for all.
May I remain firm in my resolve.
May I remain firm in my resolve
for the way of the Bodhisattva.
for the way of the Bodhisattva.
And rejoice in humility and gratitude.
And rejoice in humility and gratitude.
For the realization that I'm endowed with Buddhahood.
For the realization that I am endowed with Buddhahood.
I beseech my teachers.
I beseech my teachers
to admonish me. With guidance. When I go astray. And to never forsake me. I pray that all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas protect me.
I pray that all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas protect me.
When I slip in my devotion. To peace and love. And encourage me when I lack courage and vital spirit. Allow me Dharma power and wisdom I. For the alleviation of suffering. And emancipation of the afflicted and conflicted. Let peace and justice prevail.
Let peace and justice prevail.
Over hatred and violence.
Over hatred and violence.
Here it comes. Let it be a mountain.
Let it be a mountain.
Be a mountain.
Be a mountain.
Let it be a river.
Let it be a river.
Be a river.
Be a river.
Mahaprajna Paramita.
Mahaprajna Paramita.
Mahaprajna Paramita.
Mahaprajna Paramita.
Namo Mahaprajna Paramita.
Namo Mahaprajna Paramita.
That's called the Great Spunky Dharma Guardian Prayer. So if you would, I hope that these folks will take their Dharma Guardian program, besides coming regularly, into our Dharma student program, which is for the training of Dharma teachers and priests. So we have many kind of levels of training. So that's for these folks, because they've taken the precepts, they've been some in the Dharma Guardian program, so now they're eligible to go forward to be Dharma teachers and priests. You can think about where you are and what you would like to do with your practice. We invite you to inquire, and we'll just see what the next step is. Eh?
Yay.
Very good. Okay, let's stand, please. And we'll all do 3 bows together and formally exit so that Jagwa can organize us. She's the officiant for the next service, the Ulambana service. And just before we do those bows, I'd like to introduce to you our various clergy here, because some of you are new. So here, if you can stand, make bow to Maum. She's a priest at the temple and full-time resident. And then over here is Kusa. He doesn't live at the temple. He lives in North Carolina. He's been a Dharma teacher for several years. And then Hayun, whom a lot of you already know. She's often here at the temple. She's one of our Dharma teachers. And next to her is Jagwa. She's our newest person in the clergy, Jagwa Kelly Davenport. So please introduce yourselves to these people and let us know of your aspirations. Okay, so let's make 3 bows together. And slowly. I'm going to get my shoes. Be wherever they are. Thank you. Here's some. So will you follow? I'll come down center and let the wedding ceremony. Can you guys stay a little bit so I can get your picture all clear together with your certificates? Sure.